Is Lightnofire a gateway to a shrinking universe? Prequel to NoMansSky or mind-blowing sequel? Can it avoid the pitfalls of NMS and Starfield? If Lightnofire's secrets whisper to you, I'm here to unravel the clues we have and uncover more mysteries. How will multiplayer work? Magic, factions, fast travel, and dozens of open questions. Good Guys Free here, and I can't wait to hear what you think and share what other viewers have suggested. This video is part 1 of 2, and will focus on 2 main aspects. Connections to NoMansSky with some tantalizing clues, and gameplay, what we have hints for and what we think must exist. The second part will focus on mysteries and intriguing clues that we want to understand better, and multiplayer aspects and some more speculation. Before we dive in, thank you, my viewers, for all the wonderful ideas, suggestions, tips and pointers from the previous 2 videos. I've tried to credit the sources in the description, but must have missed some, sorry. Many have suggested that Lightnofire could be a prequel to NoMansSky. There are several ways this could be true, but in order for this to be true, we need to understand why only one planet? Why Lightnofire is so biome-rich compared to NMS planets? How are there sentient races other than the NMS 4 main races? How does the Atlas fit into this? We also need to consider clues that guide us to think it could be true, and there are plenty. I'll try to put the clues in between the other arguments. First clue? The logo is eerily reminiscent of the Atlas's red orb. Why only one planet? The simplest explanation? Lightnofire is in the distant past, a very early iteration of the universe, before the AI running the simulation started to degrade. Consider the Waking Titan scene, with its faceplate that looks like NoMansSky Knowledge Stone. In its early iteration, the entire power of the simulation was focused on a single planet, creating a diverse set of biomes, and with it, many different species, including sentient species. The AI experiments with life and civilizations on this isolated planet. Over time, these experiments may lead to instability, and the AI ends up resetting the universe and paving the way for the familiar NMS world. This would explain the existence of sentient badgers, rabbits, and other races that do not exist in later iterations in NoMansSky. Many monoliths were small, but since the Lightnofire world is densely populated, hopefully they can be found relatively easily. As the universe became larger with each iteration, and more sparse, the monoliths had to become significantly larger. As we surmise from NoMansSky lore, the Atlas and its predecessor AI was created by humans in our world and left to run for eons. Without humans guiding it, the Atlas iterated the universe and expanded it from one planet and ran multiple iterations, and the rest is NoMansSky lore. I've placed in the description a link to an excellent overview video of the history and lore of NoMansSky. It is almost 2 years out of date, but still very good. And to fill in the gaps, I'll also link to a superb video by Kanaju to give you up-to-date information from a very different point of view. Remember the giant crab fight scene? Yeah, the one with the dissonant eyes? What about those giant orbs? One looks intact, maybe an Atlas interface within. Or maybe it's an ancient iteration of the space anomaly? Another looks derelict. Maybe a failed anomaly? The rabbit court scene gives off significant vibes of similar architecture styles as some of the ruins in NoMansSky. Other things look similar too. What do you think? Are we going to encounter hints in Lightnofire that shed light on so-called later events in NoMansSky? Oh, don't forget to hit like, it really helps. What if Lightnofire is a sequel, the distant future? But how? We know the Atlas is dying in NoMansSky. It's probably heading to another iteration. As the Atlas degrades, it could be losing its ability to support the vastness of the universe. With each reset of the simulation and new iteration, its ability shrinks, and eventually it concedes that it can no longer support 18 quintillion planets. When that happens, it iterates again, refocusing all of its remaining power on a single world, creating a single planet, with no Gek, no Korvax, no Vy'keen, and no technology, but magic. And of course, a diverse biological ecosystem. That could also explain why the architecture of many structures looks similar to NoMansSky. For example, the tower on the floating island looks so much like a structure from one of the NMS settlements. What if the floating island is actually a remnant of an NMS settlement that hangs in the air magically due to something in the simulation that did not properly reset with the iterations? I'd like to suggest yet another possibility. Along with the Atlas, another AI simulated universe was created, that of Lightnofire. This simulation shared the computing core running the NoMansSky simulation, and software, as we all know, can be very complex. As time ticks, the eons pass, and the hardware running this simulation degrades, memory corruptions can occur, leading to leakage between the simulations. One such leakage could be the floating island. Another, the dissonant crab. But this opens up a crazy possibility, cross-game effects. We could be playing Light No Fire and find stuff written in the NMS letters. Or better, we could find something that, when deciphered, translates into NoMansSky portal glyphs, leading to special new places in the NMS universe. The opposite is also possible. We could find places in NoMansSky that would reveal hints into Light No Fire. What else do you think Hello Games can do to create intergame connections? Waiting to see your comments. When I started looking at gameplay options and mechanics, I felt like looking into an abyss. So many unanswered questions. Let's break it down and try to build a coherent picture. Much of this is speculation and ideas from you, my viewers, and me filling in the gaps. The biggest question, at least in terms of physical size, or rather virtual size, is how players will move about from place to place. Based on the trailer, crossing from one biome to another will be seamless. The biomes are mixed, with gradual transformation from one to another across the landscape. So this brings up the question of how densely packed points of interest are going to be. We talked about this at length. Too dense and you are overwhelmed. Too sparse and you end up wasting long minutes getting from one place to another, or in some loading screen for fast travel. We all hope HG will get this right. I have my concerns, and I'll show you in a moment, right after you consider leaving a like. Using the official Light No Fire screenshots, I can zoom in more than on the trailer video. Starting with this image, we can zoom around and look, and we see nothing interesting stretching for miles. Maybe just something far, far away. But hey, this could be a special area. Analyzing the other images seems the same. On the other hand, this image shows a mysterious structure behind the trees, so I guess we just don't really know. Alright, so we know you can play a human, a badger, a pig, and others. Clearly you can choose your race, and that must have implications on your abilities. We also see weapon specializations, swords, bows, staffs, and we see underwater exploration with no scuba-like gear. So players will be able to choose their race and combat specializations. Magic could be part of combat specializations, at least combat magic. Other magic could exist, like diving, protection, building, etc. The fact that some rabbits wear the same face-adorned shield and others do not means that there are probably factions in the game. We will be able to join factions or guilds. Maybe we will need to in order to advance in some of our specializations. The first hint for guilds or factions is in the very first frame. Look how they all wear the same cape and right side shoulder pad. In this scene, they all look to be wearing the same type of armor. And here the rabbits are entering some court, which definitely looks like a guild hall or something related to a specific faction. There are so many RPG options that are hinted at in the trailer, I can't hope to cover even half. Don't hesitate to leave comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. When you start a new game, after choosing the basics, race, traits, maybe some specializations, you will be placed randomly in the world. The Light No Fire world's day-night cycle must be faster than our real world's 24 hours, or some players will find themselves playing always at night. The trailer gave us one scene that is clearly night. As always, the first quests will be tutorial and related to finding shelter, obtaining the basics. Like any survival game, we see resource gathering, wood cutting, etc. This will lead to some wild animal hunting, establishing the basics of combat and the use of the HUD. The next thing that will happen is weather. We see the flash scene with the two bird mounts in rain. There are definitely lush areas, mountainous areas, snowy areas, and desert areas, each with their own weather, of course. There are two other scenes in the rain, one with the dragon rider, one with the waking titan. As we progress, we will hit barriers to advancing our skills and will have to find resources in different biomes, forcing us to build shelters in other locations. Eventually there will be skills we can no longer advance on our own. For some skills, we will need to obtain resources that we cannot craft and must pay for. Monoliths and other encounters will provide the clues leading us to places of commerce. On the way, we will encounter enemies and obtain gear and sellable items as loot. When we reach those places of commerce, a trading post or village, we will have the opportunity to join a faction or to apprentice in some skill and become a guild member. Being a guild member will provide us with various perks useful for exploration and survival. Maybe there will be some sort of coin that is the common currency. But what if there are different currency types in different parts of the world? In those trading posts and villages, there will be other NPCs, of course. One will need assistance and pay you in some currency which you will use to pay for goods and services. I could also use your assistance. Hitting that like button really helps the channel grow. Thank you. Some of the tasks you could do would open up whole quest lines of varying levels of difficulty that maybe you'd rather not do by yourself, but with other players. Sounds familiar? Since the entire world is multiplayer, this is also where you will meet your first travelers, players. Will you be able to exchange goods? I'm willing to bet you will. Different villages and settlements will have different craftsmen, letting you apprentice with them, upgrade your equipment, or buy new equipment and probably sell your loot. As you progress, your proficiency level in various skills will rise, opening up new opportunities. I can go on and on explaining how I see this unfolding, but let's leave some stuff for the imagination, and of course for part 2. See you soon.